HOA Karen damaged ice rink surface fined $140,000 and banned for life. The winter air bit at my knuckles as I laced up my daughter's skates, her small hands trembling with excitement. The community ice rink was our sanctuary, a place where kids like Mia could glide and laugh, forgetting the world's sharp edges. But that morning, a scream shattered the calm, and I looked up to see Karen, our HOA's self-appointed enforcer, storming across the ice with a shovel, her eyes blazing like she'd been possessed. Karen was infamous in our neighborhood, a wiry woman in her mid-50s. She wore her authority like a crown, always armed with a clipboard and a sneer. She'd fine you for a lawn 2 inches too tall or a mailbox slightly askew. Most of us tolerated her, grumbling behind closed doors. But this was different. The rink, built with years of community fundraisers, was sacred. It was where Mia had learned to skate, where old Mr. Jenkins taught kids hockey tricks, where we all came together. And now, Karen was tearing it apart literally. She swung the shovel, hacking at the ice like it had personally offended her. "This rink's an eyesore," she bellowed, her voice shrill over the gasps of onlookers. "It's lowering property values." Chunks of ice flew, the surface cracking under her fury. Kids froze, their skates stuck in place, as parents rushed forward, shouting. I grabbed Mia's hand, my heart pounding. What was she doing? The crowd grew, parents, teens, even old misses. Carter with her walker. "Karen, stop," yelled Tom, a volunteer who'd spent months maintaining the rink. His weathered face was red, his fists clenched. Karen ignored him, scraping the shovel harder, leaving deep gouges. The ice, once mirror smooth, looked like a war zone. Mia tugged at my sleeve, tears welling. "Why's she breaking our rink?" "Daddy," I didn't have an answer. Karen's rampage wasn't just about the ice, it was about control. She'd been pushing for the rink's removal for months, claiming it was a liability and too loud. The HOA had voted her down, 20-1. Apparently, she'd taken matters into her own hands. As the crowd's anger swelled, a new figure emerged, Lila, a quiet single mom who'd moved in last summer. She was an enigma, always keeping to herself. But now she stepped forward, her voice steady but sharp. "Karen, you don't own this rink. We built it. All of us." Her words cut through the chaos, and for a moment, Karen paused. Shovel mid-swing, Lila's son, Ethan, a shy 12-year-old in a faded hockey jersey, stood behind her, clutching a stick like a lifeline. I hadn't expected Lila to speak up. She'd never even attended an HOA meeting. But her presence shifted something, like a gust of wind before a storm. Karen sneered, tossing her shovel aside. "You people don't get it. This rink's a hazard. I'm protecting this neighborhood." Her voice dripped with self-righteousness, but the crowd wasn't buying it. Tom stepped closer, his voice low and dangerous. "Protecting you just destroyed a $50,000 surface we all paid for. You're going to answer for this." The tension thickened as more neighbors arrived. Drawn by the commotion, Karen's confidence faltered, her eyes darting. She wasn't used to pushback, not like this. Then came the twist none of us saw coming. Ethan, Lila's son, broke from the crowd, his face pale but determined. "You're lying," he shouted, his voice cracking. "I saw you last night, sneaking around with that shovel. You planned this." The crowd gasped. Ethan, the kid who barely spoke, had been watching from his bedroom window, unable to sleep. He'd seen Karen scoping the rink under cover of darkness, testing the ice with her shovel. His accusation hung in the air, undeniable. Karen's face drained of color. "That's ridiculous," she sputtered. "He's just a kid." But Ethan wasn't backing down. He pulled out his phone, hands shaking, and showed a grainy photo Karen caught mid-step near the rink, shovel in hand, the time-stamp glowing. 1:03 a.m. The crowd erupted, voices overlapping in outrage. Lila put a hand on Ethan's shoulder, her eyes fierce with pride. I felt a surge of respect for them both, quiet, unassuming. yet braver than any of us. The confrontation reached its peak as Tom grabbed the shovel from the ice, holding it up like evidence. "This ends now. Karen, you've gone too far." Parents started chanting. "Fix the rink. Fix the rink." Kids joined in, their voices raw with betrayal. Karen backed away, her usual swagger gone, replaced by something desperate. She tried to deflect, yelling about community standards, but no one listened. The rink, our rink, was a mangled ruin, gashes so deep you could see the concrete beneath. The damage wasn't just physical, it was a wound to our community's heart. Police arrived, called by Mrs. Carter, who'd hobbled to her phone. Karen tried to spin a story, claiming she was inspecting the ice for safety, but Ethan's photo and the crowd's testimony shut her down. The officers took her statement, their faces grim as they surveyed the destruction. Tom, still holding the shovel, handed it over as evidence. "She's done," he muttered to me, his voice heavy with relief and exhaustion. The aftermath was swift and brutal. The HOA held an emergency meeting that night, and the verdict was unanimous. Karen was fined $140,000 to cover the rink's repair. The cost inflated by her deliberate sabotage. She was banned for life from all community facilities, pool, clubhouse, and, of course, the rink. Whispers spread that she'd have to sell her house to pay the fine. Her perfect lawn and pristine mailbox no longer enough to save her. Some said she sobbed as she left the meeting, her clipboard abandoned on the table, but the real justice came later. Lila and Ethan became local heroes. Ethan, once too shy to join the hockey team, was now teaching younger kids how to skate on the temporary rink we set up while repairs began. Lila, who'd always kept her distance, started organizing fundraisers to restore the ice faster. The community rallied, stronger than ever, proving Karen wrong in every way. The rink wasn't a liability, it was our glue. As I watched Mia glide across the temporary ice, her laughter echoing, I thought about Karen. She'd wanted control, but all she'd done was fracture her own world. The rink would shine again, but Karen, she'd carry this shame forever, a pariah in the neighborhood she thought she ruled. What do you think? Did Karen get what she deserved, or was the punishment too harsh? Share your thoughts below.